there. Today is July 17th. I did want to talk about how student loans are coming into the news and becoming a political issue again. As I run LoanSense and, you know, often try to stay updated with the news, I run across some things that are absolutely baffling that I'd like to address. So this video, I will be talking about the political news, but I will also be talking about some student loan servicer updates. So if you're trying to transition into Save Now, please listen up. Or have filed your income-driven repayment forms recently, please listen up. This video will be relevant to you as well. But first and foremost, before I get into the servicer and save updates, I want to talk about how it is an election year. So things that are often not political become political, especially during election years. So I ran across a CNBC article about Trump's VP pick Vance calls the GOP to fight student loan forgiveness with every ounce of energy. That's the article I read. And what is interesting about this article is I'm very excited that there's younger people running for office, regardless of the party. J.D. Vance himself is a law school graduate, and he even fights to help parents in the state of Ohio, where he was the governor, who have become disabled from having to pay or thinking about how to help parents who become disabled who take on the debt of their children to go to school. So he's fighting for that in his state at the same time as he's making statements on X and various other platforms that essentially it's going to be part of the Republican agenda to basically fight student loan forgiveness. And it is why is it meaningful? Because it's not just statements. There's already states that have filed lawsuits to stop Save from reducing payments for undergraduate loans down to 5% of discretionary income. So in the rollout of Save, that's also the news update I'm going to do next. But it's basically encouraging more right-leaning states to file additional lawsuits that could possibly slower the pace of the new Save program of reduced payments down to 5% of undergrad loans from rolling out. So it hasn't done that yet, so I don't want to scare people, but that's why J.D. Vance's statements hold weight, is because it fuels more right-leaning states to consider filing lawsuits. So what is interesting for those who hold public service loan forgiveness that are trying to qualify for public service loan forgiveness, it says that Trump has called for the elimination of public service loan forgiveness and his administration to halt regulations aimed at providing loan forgiveness for those defrauded by their schools. So that's essentially attacking public service loan forgiveness and borrower defense, which some recruiting and practicing tactics of schools are outrageous, like promising people aid that never come to fruition, offering grants, promising degrees and classes that aren't offered. There are a lot of things that make a person's qualification for borrower defense very compelling on why they shouldn't pay for an education that they didn't actually receive, or receive a much lower quality of education, or the school outright lies to them and says, we're going to offer you these job opportunities, these internship opportunities, these experiences you can put on your resume that never come to fruition. So it's a straight outright lie. So I see why borrower defense exists, really, because people will take on literally 50, 100 more, 200,000 of debt for grad programs that they don't end up getting what what they were promised. Also, they thought they signed a promissory note to take out 20 grand, and it turns out somehow they took out 50 grand for 1 year instead of 20, or they were told it's going to cost 20, but somehow they signed forms and now they have 60 grand. All kinds of things that are just egregious in terms of lies and the honesty around what is being promised and offered. So I see a lot of these cases. Since we do help with borrower defense, I will link borrower defense line below in case you have gone to the 100 plus schools on the Sweet versus Cardona case to be qualified for bar defense and get a pathway accelerated, which is within 1 year to get your loans discharged from those specific schools. So I will link below. We give 15-minute free consults, a plug for a service. If you know anybody who's qualified, may have gone to a school on the list, or can benefit from this information, please do share. I don't think, as of right now, these are statements. Obviously, Vance and Trump have not been elected, so nothing's been put into action yet. But I just did want to share what they are thinking about their agenda. They, of course, it's a very conservative, more right-wing stance that working class Americans should not pay for the degrees of educated Americans. However, 4 out of 10 Americans start college and never graduate. Okay, so a lot of they say a plumber shouldn't pay for the degree of an Ivy League student or something, but the reality is 4 out of 10, those plumbers most likely also went to get some type of continuing education, and 4 out of 10 don't even graduate. And so it is for those who borrow under $20,000, predominantly are people that started degrees and never graduated. So the idea that loan forgiveness only benefits those that are Ivy League educated or something is just simply untrue. Additionally, I don't think it's about the plumber in Ohio funding an Ivy League degree. In terms of our tax base, the argument often is that way, but it's more, I would say, hey, we're funding a war in Ukraine by trillions of dollars that Congress is approving, and we're enriching defense contractors, and yet we're questioning giving $10,000 of forgiveness to someone who didn't complete their degree, or giving $20,000 to a working single mom because she got defrauded by a school that promised her all these educational and job opportunities. Like, it's like if we compare what we're doing with our tax dollars, like funding war and killing people, relative to giving the single mom, working class mom who started the degree and didn't finish, some forgiveness. Like, I think that is a much more salient comparison, because it is our entire tax base. Why should it just be the tax dollar of the plumber when simply the majority of our initiatives are not even funded by IRS revenue as much it is funded by debt that we continue to take on. So we continue to take on massive debt to fund wars. And so I think that's a more fair comparison. Of course, I believe that if you commit to being a public servant and you take a lower paid job to serve at your local nonprofit or federally funded healthcare clinic that is often underfunded, then I do believe, and you made the decision to earn less money because you are going to get your loans forgiven and you value public service and you're rewarded by that work. I think that there's a reason these programs exist. There's teacher loan forgiveness. If you commit to serving our school system, teachers are often sorely and grossly underpaid. To me, that is a great reason to get teacher loan forgiveness. I think the value of these programs help our economy, help our children, help our social welfare system. And so I think just saying a plumber shouldn't pay for the degree of an Ivy League graduate overlooks what we are asking people to do to get public service loan forgiveness. It's overlooking the value to society. And it is also painting a picture of dollar for dollar, eye for an eye. That's a very simplistic comparison. And then lastly, I want to say before I go into the save updates is that I don't think we should fault the borrower who can benefit from loan forgiveness. But also it's more of how do we as a nation want to fund our education? It doesn't make sense to say we don't want to forgive loans and then grossly underfund our public education. If we want to educate our next generation with quality education at fair prices, then we need to provide more public funding, improve the quality of our education system, not just K through 12, but our university education system, our public institutions, our state, and 2- and 4-year colleges, so that it's a viable option for individuals, and it's not put on the back of the borrower to go to an independent or a private school because it's a better education, take out all this debt. I do think there needs to be some more public funding, and there should be some regulation that caps the cost. Caps the cost of college tuition, and I do think there needs to be more oversight on the quality of programs in order to even receive student loans, so that we don't have this scenario where we have more cases of borrower defense in the future. There's a lot of root causes and problems that I think we need to address, instead of saying, hey, Sally, single mom who started her college degree, shouldn't get some loan forgiveness. I do not think it should be us demonizing Sally, but it should be us thinking about how to correct and improve our education system as a whole. So if you want to get rid of loan forgiveness, well, then how do we fund our education better, right? How do we make a higher quality education, bring better teachers into the classroom, pay them fairly so that they don't need teacher loan forgiveness. If we paid a teacher fairly, made their degrees accessible, we have a teacher crisis, a teacher shortage. There's all kinds of different initiatives we can enact to help bring quality teachers, quality education, and not attack the teacher who qualifies for public service loan forgiveness. To me, that just as an agenda makes no sense. Anyways, you heard my rant. Now let me go into my save updates. Okay, so first and foremost, we're hearing from a lot of servicers who are essentially saying that with SAVE being enacted, that's me playing with Velcro in the background, fidgeting here, with SAVE rolling out at the beginning of July, that student loan servicers are going to take more time, up to 90 days, to process income-driven payment paperwork. We have yet to confirm, even though that's a legal that is legally allowed by the Department of Ed. We're about to find out if that is true across the board, because just because servicers can take more time, if they're a smaller servicer that's servicing only a couple million borrowers relative to like Mohila that's servicing 14 million, are those rules of thumbs of the 90 days different? So we're going to be finding that out soon. I will keep you updated. If you have any questions about your income-driven repayment paperwork, we're here on standby. We give out free plans as well at LoanSense.com. And lastly, what I want to talk about is the impact. So if you're enrolling into an income-driven plan and you're put on administrative forbearance, then your lender will have to use 0.5 or 1%. So if putting you in forbearance actually hurts you, then we should discuss an alternative plan. We can help you if that's your scenario and you want to close on a home in the next 60 days or so, 60 to 90 days. You may need an alternative plan if you have enrolled into the SAVE program and have been put on administrative forbearance. If you do not know the impact and want to find out, we are here on standby. You can get free plans at myloansense.com, but chat your questions below. I do have somebody monitor the comments on YouTube so we can get back to you, but we are here to answer preliminary questions and get everybody the help they need to achieve much success in their financial lives, and of course, close on their dream home if that's the pathway you're going right now. Let us know if you have any questions. I hope this update was helpful, obviously, besides you listening to me rant, but whether you agree or not, comment below and let's keep any discussion civil. No attacks, please. Did not mean to make this very political, but I did want to share not just the updates of political candidates we will be choosing this November, but also my comment and commentary on what we can do to fix our education system.